Hi everyone, I wanted to do a quick tutorial on doing a cold process soap, and so I wanted to kind of go through the things you need, the steps that you will take to make your soap. I'm going to make a laundry soap today, and it's going to be excuse me, 75% lard and 25% coconut oil. So the first thing that I wanted to go through was kind of the equipment you'll need and safety precautions. Okay, so let's start with safety precautions. Because you're going to be working with lye, which is also called caustic soda, it's very important that you follow safety instructions to the T. Lye is very corrosive. It burns skin very easily, especially if it touches water. So you want to make sure that you're got your rubber gloves. It's very important. Make sure you have a pair of rubber gloves on at all times, especially when you're pouring the lye, measuring it. Just make sure you have those on. I actually got burned for the first time last week by just not paying attention to what I was doing, and it was not really fun. The second thing that you're going to need a pair of safety goggles. I've got those there. Again, you want to protect your eyes from splashes. I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to get lye in your eye, go blind. It would be really horrible. Another thing that I do, you don't really have to do it, but I just kind of find that it protects my clothes, is I always wear an apron, and you definitely want to wear long sleeves. So that's kind of the safety precautions. And also, we'll get to this in a minute, but when you're mixing your lye, you want to make sure that you add the lye to the water and not the water to the lye, because otherwise, like I said, lye is very corrosive. You'll have a volcano and it'll go everywhere and eat up everything. So just keep these precautions in mind. This lye, you just need to respect it. It's just something that you just need to keep in mind. Just be safe at all times. I mean, soap making is fun, but you got to be safe. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was kind of the things that you'll need. Again, like I said, lye is very corrosive, so the things that you don't want to use when you're making soap is anything that's aluminum. So you wouldn't want to use a mold that was aluminum. You wouldn't want your utensils to be aluminum because the lye will corrode it. So what I have here is I have a container to mix my lye in, and this is stainless steel. I'm also going to make my soap in a crock pot. I typically make hot process soap, which I use a crock pot the entire time. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to stop at the point where normally if you're doing hot process, you would just continue to cook the soap, but we're not going to do that today because cold process is a little bit different. The other thing that you're going to need is you're going to need water, and make sure I can show that in. You're going to need distilled water, and the reason why you need distilled water is because regular tap water has a lot of impurities in it, and so those impurities will affect the quality of your soap. And obviously I've been talking about lye a lot. Lye is sodium hydroxide. That's its chemical name. You can typically find it at like hardware stores, but you have to make sure that it's 100% sodium hydroxide. I know back in the day people used to use Red Devil lye. They don't really, lye is kind of hard to find because of people that have used it for drugs or whatever. But again, like I said, you just want to make sure that it's 100% sodium hydroxide. I typically buy my lye from Essential Depot. I find that I've never had issues with their lye. This particular brand, actually I got from an Amish store last week, so I don't like it as much as what I get from Essential Depot. It's what I get from there is a higher grade, but it all works the same. If you can't find it, you can look in the hardware stores where the plumbing supplies are. I think Home Depot or Lowe's sell, it's a brand called Roebic, Roebic. I've used that before and have had pretty good results. You don't want to use something like Liquid Plumber or anything like that. The other things that you're going to need are measuring cups. That's to measure your oils. You'll also need a scale. And when I talk about measuring, soap is done by weight. So you have to weigh your lye, you have to weigh the water, you have to weigh your oil. So it's not by volume. However, just kind of a caveat, the volume of water is basically the same as its weight. It's one of the few things that is going to work out that way. Another thing that you want to have handy is some sort of like stirrer. I like to use a spatula. This is a silicone one. I also use a stainless steel wire whisk. I like to use stainless steel because, and the silicone, because it doesn't react with the lye. You can use wood, but over time the wood spatulas and spoons will disintegrate, so you want to keep that in mind. You also, a lot of soap makers use stick blender. I mean, that's kind of the standard. You know, back in the olden days, everything was done by hand, but stick blender makes everything just go really smooth. You also want to have on hand distilled vinegar, and that's in case you splash your skin, you get lye in your skin. You want to douse that with the vinegar because it'll neutralize that and help stop the burn. I mean, you'll know as soon as lye gets on your skin because it'll tingle and it's not a great feeling. The other thing that you'll need if you want, you can fragrance your soap or add other additives like oatmeal or, you know, whatever else is in your recipe. Since I'm going to be making lard soap, it kind of has kind of a funky smell, and I like the citrusy kind of blends. I'm going to use some orange oil, essential oil, some lime, some tangerine, and grapefruit. And let's see, I've got my lard here, I've got some coconut. You also want to have a mold. Again, like I said earlier, you want to make sure that your mold is not anything that is going to be corrosive. So you wouldn't want to use a a cookie pan that's made with aluminum or even the non-stick, because it's gonna corrode. I bought this at, I don't know, the Christmas tree shop. It was like $3. I use it a lot. It makes probably between 2 and 3 pounds of soap I can usually get out of that. Okay, I mentioned the scale, and then the last thing I wanted to mention that you want to have is your soap calculator, and I use soapcalc.net. A lot of people use it. There's a couple of other soap calculators. There's one by Majestic Mountain Sage. Miller Soap has a couple of calculators. Most people typically use the Soap Calc. And the reason why you want to use Soap Calc is because oils saponify, different oils saponify at different rates, and so there's calculations that go into how much of one oil you'll need with the lye, and there's a such thing as like water discounting and lye discounting. I'm not really going to go into all of that. There's a lot of information out on the web that you can look into to get kind of a better idea on that, but I just wanted to show you. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to measure my oils, and then I'm going to come back. Thanks.